Where is he? Right here. Stand up, sir. Step out of the room.
Of a country with so many people, with such a history, with such ties back to the United States, it's so important for us to be consistent. And so I and other members of Congress are willing to hold leaders of our own party to that standard of being consistent with saying we want free and fair elections, and we want all of our partners and allies to be held to that basic standard. And then here in October of 2024, with Congressman Rick McGovern and Congresswoman Summer Lee, alongside 62 other members of Congress, we asked the Biden administration to center human rights in our U.S. policy towards Pakistan, asking for the release of political prisoners, including Imran Khan. Again, not because of any one individual person. It could be anyone that was running for office. It could be in any country that we're partners and allies with. This isn't about picking on anyone, picking on any country. It's about just basic fairness. And so, in my view, there's a growing number of members of Congress that are aware of what is going on in Pakistan. I appreciate that there is an increasing bipartisanship on this issue that doesn't have to do with us having an outcome that we want other than peace and democracy and self-determination, because if there's peace and democracy and self-determination in the developing world, then that is good for people who badly need it in that country, but also good for our long-term interests. We can't be thinking that people being under the United States thumb is actually good for the United States. It's better for people to be free, and that is ultimately what's better for our own constituents as well. So thank you all so much for having us. We traveled from far and wide to be able to be here today to talk about the events and the killing on November 26th and 27th, to talk about issues of peace and democracy both in Pakistan and across the world. And I think it's so important for the Pakistani American community to be gathered and organizing to promote peace and human rights, as you said, for everyone. I'm Greg Khanzada. I'm proud to represent the heart of Texas, stretching from San Antonio to Austin, Texas. And while I really feel came into office focusing on issues of domestic policy, it's so clear that the way that the United States treats our partners and neighbors across the world impacts our everyday lives here in the United States. And I came in with some level of expertise on issues in Latin America, actually, where my family is from. And the United States has a history, an unfortunate history, and a short-sighted history of oftentimes thinking in its short-sighted military interests, thinking of military alliances first, and democracy in places like Latin America second. And what we saw happen in Latin America, and what connected me so much to the issues happening right now in Pakistan, is how the United States, sometimes during the Cold War, because it put its thinking about US and Russia first, supported dictatorships, supported authoritarianism, and in fact, supported the toppling of democracy in places in Latin America that took generations to recover. It did not serve the United States or people in America's own interest relative to the Cold War. It did not serve the interests of everyday people in Latin America. And in fact, destabilizing those democracies hurt our own democracy, hurt our own ability to work across the world for a global prosperity, hurt our own ability to tackle the shared challenge of the climate crisis. It ended up not helping anyone. And similarly, as I've asked questions about what has happened here in Pakistan in recent years, I could see how the status quo of militaries supporting militaries first and not asking about democracy ever ends up actually hurting our own American people. I leave to the people of Pakistan the question of who to elect, how to run your own politics, whether your leaders agree with me or not. I know that you had Congressman Pfluger here. We're both from Texas. We have very different ideas, but at the end of the day, the question isn't whether somebody in Pakistan agrees with Mr. Pfluger's ideas or agrees with mine. The question is, can the people in Pakistan choose their own path, choose their own future? And can they choose that future and be able to protest and demonstrate and vote for whomever they like without fear of repression, and even more importantly, in my seat as a United States member of Congress, without fear of repression that is supported in part by our own dollars. And so my first action as it related to the questions of U.S. and Pakistan relations was in 2023, when I led on a letter with Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, asking that we do a review of the legality of United States military assistance in Pakistan, because we have a law. I don't believe this law should be applied anymore to our best friends versus our friends versus our allies versus anyone else. There is just simply a law that says that U.S. military assistance does come with a condition, and that condition is support of human rights and democracy, because it is U.S. taxpayer dollars that should be going to supporting peace and security, not to hurting our own values and oppressing anyone of any political party, whether I agree with that political party or not. We then followed up in 2024 with another directive and question to Secretary Blinken. I did that work with Congresswoman Susan Wild, who is just an excellent member of Congress, expressing our concern about all of the reports of rigging in the elections. Again, we want to make sure that our role on the international stage is to make sure that we aren't saying, well, if somebody that the military is aligned with and an election is rigged, we're not going to say anything. If there's somebody that we're not aligned with and there's rigging, we are going to say something. No. If the United States wants to have credibility around the world, then we need to call a fair election, whether we agree with the results or not. An unfair election, an unfair one, whether we like the results.
Standing up to say and do the right things, because I think worldwide this is very hard at times, and to have the courage. So it's an honor to be invited here. It's not the first time that I've spoken on things with this subject and in this way, but thank you so much for this opportunity. And let me also say that the relationship that we have with Pakistan is very important, but we also want to get things right and advocate. And that is true around the world. You see many countries with strong relationships, but the relationship only grows stronger when we abide by the values with regards to human rights, with regards to political stability, and this is very much part of that conversation. So I have some written remarks, and I will say those now, but I know that those gathered here today share my desire to see a Pakistan that upholds our shared democratic principles: free and fair elections, freedom of expression, and the rule of law. And these are not just ideals, but they're fundamental rights that must be protected. The brutal crackdown on peaceful protesters last November that resulted in numerous casualties and mass arrests is a stark reminder of the challenges facing Pakistan's democracy, and it stands in contrast to the values of a free society. This includes the persecution and arbitrary detention of political opponents such as that of former Prime Minister Imran Khan. And I join the voices like Rick Grinnell, who is President Trump's special envoy for special missions, in condemning the persecution of Imran Khan and calling for his release. Despite these challenges, as I mentioned before, the U.S.-Pakistani relationship is vital. It remains vital, and is vital for regional stability. It is vital for global security. However, the relationship must be grounded in shared values of democracy and human rights. This must include countering the pernicious activities of the People's Republic of China, a country who feigns being a reliable partner yet is anything but that. A country that imprisons, tortures, and genocides Uyghur Muslims in its own country. The Chinese Communist Party is counting on Pakistan to ignore this, to turn a blind eye, and to further ingrain Pakistan into China's Belt and Road Initiative. This must not happen. My Pakistani American friends, all of you in this room, your voices are crucial. Your contributions to American society and your role in strengthening U.S.-Pakistan ties are invaluable. Your concern for your homeland is not just understood, it's shared. Thank you for the applause. Let me finish by saying, I look forward to working with the incoming Trump administration to reaffirm the U.S. commitment to you, the Pakistani American community, to pursue a free, fair, and democratic Pakistan, and to usher in a new era of U.S.-Pakistan relationship. Thank you for having me.
What's the term? Realpolitik. There are a lot of Americans, or even American leaders, not going to mention them, who think that U.S. policy should be driven by what I call realpolitik. What's best in our economic interests, what's best in our security interests. But I've always felt that whether it's our economic interests or our security interests, that democracy is always more likely to lead to a government that's more friendly and more helpful to us, both from a national security point of view and an economic point of view. So I don't separate the two. Democratic rights are crucial, and they go along with economic freedoms and national security concerns at the same time. So I'll just continue to be out there speaking out against what's happening and advocating for a free and fair elections and a democratic Pakistan. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you. Maybe in my district, which is in the central part of New Jersey near New Brunswick, where Rutgers University is, we have a number of mosques, and I try to frequent them when I can, particularly on the religious holidays. But I just wanted to say, I value democracy in general, and I know that there have been times in the history of Pakistan when we haven't had a complete democracy, but I still think of it as a very vibrant democracy, and that the people deserve to be able to have fair elections and elect leaders who are going to be responsive to them, which I think is only the case when you have a democracy. If you have an authoritarian regime or a military regime, they're never going to be responsive to the average person in the way that a democratic elected leader is. So when I heard from some of my constituents about the election in February of 2024 and what happened, it was very upsetting to me. Clearly, it's been designated by the State Department as not a free and fair election. And of course, there's been the crackdown since then on the supporters of the prime minister who ran in that election, or who wasn't allowed to run really because it wasn't fair. And that's just another indication of the military leaders, if you will, taking a hard line and making it more difficult for people to exercise their right to vote or freedom of speech. We passed a resolution in the House, I think I have the number here, you're all familiar with it.
368.
Yeah, and basically expressing our desire that Pakistan go back to a democratic process, and that the human rights violations not continue. And I just think the United States has an obligation, as does this Congress, to continue to speak out and support those like yourselves that believe in free and fair elections and free speech in Pakistan and throughout the world.
Sir, stand up and step out of the room.
I'm the most beautiful blackest city in the country, where they taught me to speak truth to power, even if even if it's unpopular, even if my voice shakes. I just want you to know I'm very, very much disappointed in my own country for continuing to be an ally to this kind of undemocratic process and just their dangerous, again, attacks on folks being able to speak up. We've already spent billions of dollars in weapons and military aid over the years with little regard for basic human rights. And I always tell people it's not always just Palestine that is impacted by unconditional aid or just not using the leverage that we have as a country. We see it all over the world, where my own country continues to feel that kind of human rights abuses. But we stand here together saying free Imran Khan. We stand here together again and saying that the Pakistani people deserve to be able to choose their own leaders in free and fair democratic process. And again, I'll continue to be an ally to speak up by tear gassing them, beating them, arresting them, and lying about it. Again, I've also seen that right here in our backyard with protesters and the current president sending out, National Guard and military folks to go out there to, again, suppress that kind of movement to be able to have a voice and speak up. But we know these anti-democratic measures very much
diaspora and their efforts towards restoring democracy in Pakistan.
About issues of peace.
I would like to welcome you all today to this congressional briefing, which is held by and hosted by Congressman Greg Casar. I would like to express my deepest and sincerest gratitude for you being the holder of democracy, supporting democracy, human rights across the globe, including Pakistan. Congressman Greg Casar has spearheaded several vital congressional letters, including the letter to President Biden and Secretary of State, and he has been a huge supporter of Pakistani diaspora and their efforts towards restoring democracy in Pakistan. Today, we will be discussing the Islamabad Massacre, and we hope to achieve and enlighten people about what is happening in Pakistan, the ongoing crisis, the military destabilizing the country, and dismantling of the institutions. We would also hope to address potential sanctions against the individuals who were responsible for Islamabad Massacre. Thank you very much, Congressman Greg Casar. Everybody, please give a huge welcome to him.
Honorable Congressman, while Pakistan has been defined as a state moving from crisis to crisis since its inception, the Islamabad Massacre of November 2024, in which hundreds of people were shot, literally at the gates of its Parliament and Supreme Court, and bodies made to disappear, like the Banana Massacre in Colombia of 1928, was unprecedented even in Pakistan's global history. This represents a clear and present danger for US interests in South and Central Asia, and the growing instability, Congressman, is increasing immigration pressures towards Europe via Mediterranean. Asylum applications are also piling up in the US borders from Pakistan. Honorable Congressman and fellow gentlemen, but we have not reached this dangerous situation overnight. Pakistan, a nation of almost 250 million, fifth largest in the world after China, India, China, United States, and Indonesia, second largest Muslim nation, and the only Muslim country with nuclear weapons, with almost 1 million trained men in uniform in arms, is increasingly on boil since a military-led regime change operation in April 2022 against the government of Prime Minister Imran Khan. Since then, the country with more than 65% under the age of 35, facing an economic meltdown, water, food, and energy shortages, is being run by a military with growing brutality and in total disregard of United Nations and international human rights conventions. Since April 2022, while courts have been made to collapse, more than 20,000 men and women have been arrested, hundreds have been tortured, journalists, lawyers, human rights activists, and poets have been abducted, forced to go underground or seek protection in Western democracies like myself. I left when a dear colleague and outspoken critic of the military, Arshad Sharif, was chased and murdered in Kenya on 23rd October 2022. 10 days later, an assassin almost murdered Imran Khan, the former prime minister and country's most popular leader. But both criminal acts, Congressman, to this day have not been properly investigated. Biden administration, for reasons not understood, completely ignored the crisis developing in Pakistan. Attention was repeatedly drawn by Pakistani American community to brutal suppression of opposition, gross human rights violations, silencing of media, muzzling of courts, and internet shutdowns. But Biden administration kept on dodging the questions and thus tacitly encouraged the Pakistani military to continue with this reign of terror. Congressman, in November 2023, I remind you, Representatives Greg Casar and Ilhan wrote to Secretary Blinken to review if United States security assistance is contributing to human rights violations. And on 28 February 2024, after elections were massively rigged in Pakistan by the military, 31 congressmen led by Representatives Greg Casar and Susan Wyatt wrote to Secretary Blinken to withhold recognition of an apparently illegitimate government till a transparent and credible investigation is conducted into alleged election interference and irregularities. In June 2024, in an unprecedented move, United States Congress and House Resolution 901 affirmed its support for democracy and demanded investigation into election irregularities and interference by the military. And in October 2024, 4 weeks before the Islamabad Massacre, Representatives Greg Casar, Jim McGovern, yourself, and Congresswoman Summer Lee again led 61 congressmen asking Biden administration to emphasize human rights and rule of law in its policy towards Pakistan, and demanded the release of all political prisoners including the former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Congressman, all unfortunately fell on deaf ears. Washington ignored the growing crisis, including increasing reports of transnational repression, filing of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. These are hundreds of instances of intimidation and violence against relatives, families, and associates of Pakistani Americans in Pakistan by the military regime for the views expressed within the US for reaching out to the congressman and for the comments on Twitter, which is, by the way, blocked in Pakistan since 17 February 2024. Congressman, Islamabad Massacre was thus the culmination of growing public outrage and helplessness against rigged elections, destruction of the vote system, and silence of the international community led by Washington. It was in these circumstances that more than 100,000 protesters marched into capital Islamabad to demand release of political prisoners, restoration of the Supreme Court, and respect for the stolen mandate in February election. Instead of negotiating with peaceful, unarmed protesters, a military operation was conducted in the middle of the night. No one knows how many were really killed, as dead bodies were made to disappear, just like the Banana Massacre of 1928 in Colombia. I hope Ryan Grimm of Dropsite, who I see here, who did an investigative story, will provide more details about this massacre. Congressman, in my humble opinion, unless the US Congress impresses upon the incoming Trump administration to develop a focus on Pakistan through special envoys and demand person-specific sanctions against the officers of the military regime and police responsible for the massacre, human rights violations, instability and chaos will continue to grow in Pakistan, increasing risk for its neighbors and the United States' interest in the region. Thank you.
Honorable Congressman, Congresswoman, Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. I've been reporting on conflict and politics in Pakistan, Afghanistan, and India, three countries I have lived in, reported from, and still have family and friends in for the last 25 years. Frankly, I'm a fish out of water here in Washington. I really shouldn't be here. I should be back home in Pakistan. And yet, I can't be back home because home no longer feels like home. Strangely, I have easy access to this capital here in Washington than my own capital city of Islamabad, which ironically means the city of Islam, a religion of peace and tolerance. And yet, in that city is where some of my colleagues are buried today. Colleagues like journalist Ashad Sharif, like Salim Shahzad, who were killed in the line of duty for doing what they were supposed to be doing in the business of accountability and truth-telling. They were killed for doing their job. Today's briefing is an attribute to heroes like them, heroes who are no longer with us, but have given us the courage to carry on this work of speaking truth to power. The steady attrition of democratic rights and journalistic freedoms over the last 2 decades has seen thousands killed in my country, including dozens of fellow journalists. The pace has picked up, especially over the last few years, and has led to this difficult moment for me and some of my friends on this panel. I really should be bursting with pride being able to speak at this great forum. I mean, the congresswoman here is from Michigan, where I went to college, and is a local hero for so many years. But I don't have that pride. I shouldn't, because that pride should come from the distinction of being embedded with and covering over 100 of the bravest of the Pakistan Army's 250 military units deployed on some of the country's most intense front lines, seeing that country's most courageous soldiers sacrifice their lives. Pride which comes from hailing from 3 generations of public servants and law enforcement officials. My late father led Pakistan's intelligence bureau. My stepfather served as an instructor in Pakistan's army aviation. Pride which comes from launching the country's first independent and Urdu and English news channels and interviewing dozens of its leaders and influencers. And yet, here I am, a prisoner outside my own country because of the way Pakistan's military and military-backed leaders have treated their best and brightest.
We see generally a pattern of clampdown on protests and freedom of assembly, not just focused on PTI supporters. This is also the case specifically in the case of the Baloch National Gathering, for example, in July, where we saw use of live ammunition, and even this past weekend, a heavy crackdown by police against Baloch protesters in Karachi during what should have been a peaceful and was a peaceful political mobilization campaign.
To welcome you all today to this congressional briefing, which is held by and hosted by Congressman Greg Kassar. I would like to express my deepest and sincerest gratitude for you being the holder of democracy, supporting democracy, human rights across the globe, including Pakistan. Congressman Greg Kassar has spearheaded several vital congressional letters, including the letter to President Biden and Secretary of State, and he has been a huge supporter of Pakistani diaspora and their efforts towards restoring democracy in Pakistan. Today, we will be discussing the Islamabad Massacre, and we hope to achieve and enlighten people about what is happening in Pakistan, the ongoing crisis, the military destabilizing the country, and dismantling of the institutions. We would also hope to address potential sanctions against the individuals who were responsible for Islamabad Massacre. Thank you very much, Congressman Greg Kassar. Everybody, please give a huge welcome to him.
This is the reason why Chori or Sinalo? Chori and Sinalo.
Do you know me?
Do you know me?
I don't need to know you. Don't shout at me and don't point your finger on me. It's the bacha. You are maybe somebody else bacha.
Calm down, calm down.
Don't tell me calm down. Tell him to calm down and learn how to talk to me.
You are screaming. You are
You're
screaming.
two-faced people, certified chore liar. He's calling me Angrez ka bacha. Do you know what that means?
Why are you coming?
Who you think congressman is?
Why are you coming?
Who you think is congressman is? Congressman is Angrez ka bacha. You begging all the Angrez ka bacha.
अपना नाम इसमें लिस्ट में दिखा दो।
I just told you my name. Okay? Don't use the word. Be nice. I be nice.
कौन सा वर्ड आपने यहाँ पे कर दिया?
Don't use wrong word. Don't try to threaten me. You don't know me. I don't want to know you. Look at your filthy, dirty. You telling me Angrez ka bacha. You are so stupid. You're so stupid. You calling me Angrez ka bacha. The one you come here to listen, he's Angrez ka bacha. The congressman is Angrez ka bacha. I'm not Angrez ka bacha.
अपने लफ्ज मेरे मुंह में मत डालो।
You just say that and it's in my phone.
अपने लफ्ज मेरे मुंह में
You're
मत
so
डालो।
stupid. Get out from my face. Get out. This is not Pakistan.
Don't
lean on me. Get out.
Don't
Go
shout.
over there. Go sit over there.
Calm down, calm down.
Don't tell the congressman throw me out. Tell the Angrez ka bacha, beg him to throw me out. Sir, stand up and step out of the room.
This is not their first time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize, guys.
Where is he? Right here. Stand up, sir. Step out of the room. And the guy is sitting in front of you. Sir, stand up and step out of the room. I just told you my name. Okay? Don't use the word. Be nice, I be nice. Okay? Don't use wrong word. Don't try to threaten me. You don't know me. I don't want to know you. Sir, stand up and step out of the room.
This is not their first time.
I apologize, guys. I just told you my name. Okay? Don't use the word. Be nice, I be nice. Okay? Don't use wrong word. Don't try to threaten me. You don't know me. I don't want to know you.
Sir, stand up and step out of the room. I apologize, guys. Thank you. I apologize, guys. Stand up and step out of the room.
Your name is not on the list, sir, and it's only by the invitation.
Huh?
It's only by the invitation, so we have a whole complete
I have
list.
my concern. I'm American Pakistani citizen.
What's
This
your
is
name?
about the Pakistan, and I'm representing Pakistan. So how come you telling me if my name is not in there? I'm sitting
Either
already
we
inside.
can make it. Here's it. Either way, we can make it negative or we can make it positive.
I'm being positive. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not harming any person. I'm not doing nothing. I'm just sitting. I want to listen what the congressman had to do.
But it has the only by the invite.
Why is that?
It's right here.
Sir, my concern, I'm a American Pakistan citizen. Okay? I'm overseas. I represent Pakistan. And I want to hear what the congressman had to say today. Because these people, I believe they're not honest people who are doing all that. So I just want to listen calmly. I'm not, hurting anybody, doing anything wrong. I'm just sitting. I just want to listen. No, I'm not doing. What do you mean I'm doing? What I'm doing? You tell me what I'm doing.
You want to?
No, I'm not. I don't know. Someone sent you to me. I'm just sitting here.
No, it's only by the invitation. This is what we are showing you the list.
Okay.
That's very genuine reason.
Okay, so my genuine reason, I'm telling you, I want to hear the congressman, what he had to say. What are you people, selling here? I like to buy that too. Why not? I'm a concerned citizen too.
We are not selling anything, but
Yes, you people are selling today.
What are we selling?
I want to see what I can buy. That's what I'm here to listen.
If somebody is not selling anything, what can you buy?
So why is the problem for
You're just
you?
trying to make a
Sir,
scene and that's it.
No,
We're
nobody
just trying
making
to
any
remain
scene.
in
You are
the
trying to
peace
making a
and
scene.
conversation.
I'm sitting here nicely. Do I look like to you? I come here for make a scene?
When your name is not going to be on the thing, how can we make you over here? How can we make yourself available?
Did I do anything wrong? Did I hurt anybody? Did I abuse anybody?
It's a
Did I
private
say
event,
anything?
then what can we do?
Did I say anything? Did I say anything?
वहाँ पे नाम है लिस्ट में अगर अपना नाम दिखा दें
Do you see any wrong slogan or any?
I think so. This is the reason that why you want to be here.
No,
This
sir.
is the reason
can-
why you want
no,
to be here.
No.
This is the reason
That's what you
that
say.
why you want to be
No,
here.
that's what you say.
This is why you want to be here.
That's what you
That
say.
you wanted to create a scene.
No, that's what you say.
This is the only reason that why
Well,
you
you're
want to be
accusing
here.
me for nothing.
No, why you're not accusing you for
You
anything.
are accusing me for nothing.
So
I'm
that
not
we
doing
can make
anything
it
wrong.
Very, very smoothly.
Okay.
It's very simple.
Okay, so you're
It's
threatening
very
me?
simple. I'm not threatening you.
Look like you're
Did
threatening
I-
me?
Did I even say
Okay,
any
so what's
threatening
next? You saying
invitation?
smoothly? What is
your
next?
name is on the list.
Sir, you just
Is your
saying
name on
me
the list?
smoothly. So you threatening me?
आप ऐसा ना करें एक चोरी और
Are you
सीनादोरी आपका नाम नहीं है बीच में आप
Don't
क्यों
use that
सब
word.
कर रहे हैं
Don't use that word.
चोरी और
Don't
सीनादोरी
use that word.
चोरी और
You
सीनादोरी
look like a chore.
चोरी एंड
You look
सीनादोरी
like a chore.
चोरी एंड
You look
सीनादोरी
like a chore.
चोरी एंड
You look
सीनादोरी
like a chore.
चोरी एंड
You look like to me chore.
चोरी एंड
You're a
सीनादोरी
chore. You're representing a certified chore.
चोरी एंड
No,
सीनादोरी
you-
मत
you're
करें
representing
चोरी और
certified chore.
सीनादोरी मत करें
You are a chore.
चोरी और
Don't call me
सीनादोरी
that.
मत करें
Or don't use that
चोरी
word.
और सीनादोरी मत करें
No, this is not a Pakistan. This is not a Pakistan.
इसलिए आपको क्या है?
This is not a Pakistan. एक और बगारत आया जी। एक और बगारत आया। एक और बगारत आया। हाँ जी बगारत साहब। आपका नाम?
Why are you using these slangs?
He started.
Why are you
He
using
started.
these slangs?
He started.
You're saying all the begharat words and
So
everything.
he
We
said-
are not using
what do you-
any
what do
of
you-
the
what do you
slangs.
think he said?
He did not use
Yes,
any
that's
single
what he
slang.
said.
He did not use any
That's-
single
that's
slang.
what he said.
So I think
He
so let's
used the
not
word
make it
chore.
very complicated. Let's
You
not
use
make
that
it
word.
very complicated.
Yeah. You make it complicated.
You are making it extremely
No, I'm not.
complicated.
आपको
I'm not.
मुहज़्ज़ब तरीके से कह रहे
You're
हैं
not a
मुहज़्ज़ब
muhazzab.
तरीके से
No, why you use the word chore?
ओ भाई
You
चोरी और
representing a
सीनादोरी है
certified
चोरी
chore.
और यार आप चोर से आपको कुछ होना लग रहा है क्या
You is representing a certified chore.
भाई आपको
Why
चोर
are you
से
scared of me?
आपसे हम
Do you know me?
आप अपना नाम दिखाए हैं उसमें लिस्ट
Why
में
you scared of me? Do
आप
you know
लिस्ट
me?
में आप नाम
Do
दिखाए
you know me?
Do you know me
Huh? I don't need to know you.
Do you know me
Don't shout at me and don't point your finger on me.
मैं आपको
You're
बता
not
रहा
in Pakistan.
मैं
You're not in
आप
Pakistan.
कांपना बंद करें
This is not a Pakistan.
मेरी बात सुनो
Okay?
मेरी बात सुनो
This is not a Pakistan.
अंग्रेज ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਉਰਦੂ ਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਉਰਦੂ ਚ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਭੱਟ ਸਾਹਿਬ
Who you call here? The congressman. Who you think he's Pakistani? He's American.
मेरी बात सुनो
He's अंग्रेज का बच्चा.
अपना अपना
You are maybe somebody else बच्चा.
Calm down, calm down.
अपना नाम
Don't tell
लिस्ट
me
में
calm down. Tell him to calm down and learn how to talk to me.
You're
अपना नाम
screaming.
लिस्ट में दिखाओ
You're
और फिर बैठे रहो
screaming.
यहाँ पे
You are
You're
screaming.
two-faced people,
Okay.
certified chore liar. You telling me, calling me अंग्रेज का बच्चा? Do you know what that means? Who you think congressman is? Who you think is congressman is? Congressman is अंग्रेज का बच्चा. You begging all the अंग्रेज का बच्चा.
मेरी बात सुनो अपना नाम इसमें लिस्ट में दिखा दो
I just told you my name. I just told you my name.
आपको हाइपर करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है
Don't use the word. Be nice. I be nice.
कौन सा वर्ड आपने यहाँ पे वो कर दिया
Don't use wrong word.
कौन सा
Don't
word
try
कर
to
दिया?
thread me. You don't know me. I don't want to know you.
कोई थ्रेट नहीं किया
Look at your filthy, dirty, you telling me अंग्रेज का बच्चा. Huh? You are so stupid. You're so stupid. You calling me अंग्रेज का बच्चा. The one you come here to listen.